This is actually really exciting. So much happened the day the truck was pulled out of the ice, there was no way it could all fit into my earlier video. So here's a few more details about how this full day operation rolled out. Ice conditions can make a huge difference in an operation like this, so Larry Bartlett, owner of Bartlett's Towing, which was doing the extraction, was quite pleased that it was cold the night before.
There's a lot more ice in the last 3 days of cold weather. Minus 25 last night, but it was really cold. Even the ice around the truck has gone up about 4 inches since here last year.
Let's hear Lucan explain the wood platform being constructed on the ice.
4x8 sheets of interlocking plywood. So we're just gonna put them all down, spread them out, so it's nice big surface area for our loader to go on. So that way the weight's spread out better for when we're pulling, because it's gonna add all the weight to the loader, right? Well, 2 front tires are gonna be digging in good, so we don't want that to go anywhere.
You probably noticed their just-in-case boat. I thought that was amusing, but they also use that when they're testing thin ice to ensure they don't fall through. There was so much chainsawing all day long. They were cutting ice like crazy. So it was kind of fun to intersperse in the earlier video the regular speed shots with some slow-mo shots like this one. And these were done using my Osmo Pocket camera that has a slow-mo feature on it, and I think it worked out pretty well. Another thing that worked out pretty well was my little Spark drone that I used to film most of the aerial shots in this video. Okay, enough about the camera work. Let's see how they hooked onto the back of the truck 3 feet down under icy water. Well, the secret was cutting a couple of small holes through the ice, and using an underwater camera, they snagged the trailer hitch with a hook on the end of this long pole. And this next part was also very cool.
What we're doing right here is we just got another hole in the ice. We're going to put this down vertically and then put it horizontal, and then put tension on it up to the back of this machine as an anchor so that the back end doesn't lift up while we're winching on the truck out of the ice. Do you have another crevice? No.
And you can see they did exactly the same sort of anchor behind the backup truck lined up behind the tractor. And by the way, you can see my GoPro camera sitting on a little tripod in the back there. I used the GoPro to take time-lapse pictures of the extraction. Another interesting trick the Bartlett's towing team used was stuffing the ice that they had cut under the edge of the surrounding ice. This not only got rid of it and made it out of the way, but it also, particularly in this case, provided extra flotation under the front edge where they were going to be pulling the truck out. By the way, that's me lending a hand, keeping the cable taut to prevent the hook from coming off the back of the truck. I mentioned earlier using my Spark drone for most of the aerial shots, including these ones. But what about my Phantom 3 drone? Well, here's where the challenge of filming all day out in the cold came and bit me in the butt. I had a beautiful flight with the Phantom towards the end of the day, but my phone battery conked out, the drone camera file was corrupted, and I lost all the footage. Needless to say, I was not amused. Fortunately, I think the other camera work that I was doing more than made up for the lack of the Phantom. A dimension of the day that I chose to remove from the earlier video was all the sounds that were going on. All the creaks and groans of the equipment, the sawing of the chainsaw, and the friendly banter amongst the crew. So I thought I'd share some of that with you in this director's cut. And of course, this final extraction was the most challenging part of the day for the Bartlett's towing crew as well. And I'll point out a few of the tricks that they were using at this stage. They had a number of 6x6 wood beams inserted under the truck to help glide it over the edge of that ice surface. They had the Kubota tractor, the orange beast there, lifting upwards on the back of the truck. And at the same time, you might not have noticed, but there's a cable running horizontally under the Kubota tractor and being pulled by a winch on the backup truck to basically pull the truck horizontally out of the hole. Overall, a pretty slick operation. This final shot was taken the following day using my Phantom 3 drone. And by the way, yes, they did in fact take the truck, pulled it up the cottage road that they had cleared specifically for this operation, intercepted with a flatbed truck, and took it away. I enjoyed this last shot that I had put at the very end of the movie after the credits, with the Bartlett towing truck and the seaweed showing on the truck they had pulled out of the lake. I hope you enjoyed my director's cut, and have a look at the original film again after seeing this, and I'm sure you'll pick out lots of interesting details. Thanks so much to the Bartlett's towing team for letting me film their operation and taking the time to explain things along the way. What a great bunch of guys. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and comment below. Thanks again.